We've observed this conversation for a long time, and from our perspectives, it's a bit misguided because people always talk about, okay, we need 1 million drones on the eastern border. But for effective air defense, you always need 3 components. You need a sensory network, you need a C2 software, so a command and control software that allows for human decision making, and you need different effectors. So one effector could be an interceptor drone for the medium layer, another could be a missile-based system or a cannon-based system, but you basically need layers of defense. Just producing 1 million drones and putting them on the eastern flank is not going to solve the problem.
You approached by others?
Yes, we're being approached for partnerships, and it's something we're looking into very closely. So that's why for us, interoperability is such a key factor. We want to help and contribute to producing a European autonomous dome, not unlike the Israeli Iron Dome, that works by always using the right effector to the right threat. Basically, you don't want to shoot rockets at a very cheap drone, but if there's a really, really dangerous ballistic missile, you also want to have rockets in your arsenal and the missiles. And always finding the right effector for the right threat is kind of what we're working on. Because what we need is a large number of these systems, and that's where a traditional missile-based system has failed us, because even if you had all the money in the world, these systems are so complicated that it's really hard to scale production. And for us, we present kind of a paradigm shift, but we want very simple, very basic hardware that's cheap and easy to mass produce, and then combat enhance it with a sophisticated AI. So it's kind of a new approach where you put the software and the AI part first, and then you just use easily scalable, cheap hardware. We've observed is that right now it costs about 100 times as much to intercept a very cheaply produced Shahed drone with a missile-based system than with an interceptor drone. So the economics aren't right. And our mission is to restore the economics of air defense, which means we always want to be cheaper than what we're shooting down. And we've come a long way. We're already much cheaper than all of the Shahed systems. Now we're going to, in the process of ramping up production, half price again to come into a range where it's really the least costly option, and it will allow for a much larger arsenal. Because essentially, we've already talked about it, but quantity is key. Even if you have the best systems, if you have a drone swarm in Ukraine yesterday, 521 drone sightings, and you have 4 rockets, there's really no point. You need the quantity to actually counter those threats. After the recent weeks, or as a result of the sightings in the previous weeks, we've had a huge influx of interest, especially from countries like Poland, the Baltic states, but also the UK. So we're in constant contact and communications with them, because this is essentially a European problem, not just a German problem. It really doesn't make sense for Germany to protect its airspace if Poland, France, and the Baltic states use a different system. It's about creating a European system that works. And that's why interoperability is such a key factor. And one of the wishes or demands we have of politicians is you need to create the framework, set protocol standards that allow every producer of effectors and sensors to work together. If we in Europe can agree on certain standards for sensor fusion and for effectors, that would allow us to create a real layered autonomous dome for Europe.
Und dann, das machen wir heute alles. Das machen wir heute. Genau, oder? Schauen wir nochmal hier rein.
Sehr gut.
Das schaut gut aus. Auf jeden Fall, ja.
Alles klar.
Ich kann es selber nicht lesen.
Okay, sehr gut.
Ja, klar.
Du darfst deine eigene Schrift nicht lesen. Das ist schon aktuell.